Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. Sort of an off-the-cuff one today. I wasn't planning on uploading to this channel, but we got some, I'll call it interesting news from Variety that I wanted to read and react alongside you guys. I'll link the article down below, read it for yourself, but the headline is Star Wars Shakeup. Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins movie shelved, Taika Waititi looking to star in his own film. And I mean, that headline stands for itself, but as a bit of context before getting into Star Wars movies, we're in the Disney Plus era for Star Wars, and I think that's how people will remember it. Star Wars has been used as a tool to drive Disney Plus subscriptions. I don't have a problem with that, but I think we're seeing the results in a lack of initiative and a lack of care when it comes to shepherding the future of the franchise on the big screen. I mean, going back to 2019, The Rise of Skywalker is a movie that desperately needed a year, maybe even 2 years of extra time, and the issues with the sequel trilogy have long been attributed to Disney's desire to hit certain release schedules with the movies. And in hindsight, putting out 3 movies between 2015 and 2019 was a really foolhardy decision. I think that alone is impacting a lot of what we're seeing on the movie side, but television has been completely different, largely due to The Mandalorian. Now, yeah, there of course have been shows that some fans haven't enjoyed. Kenobi was certainly divisive. I don't think it was blatantly awful, but it wasn't my favorite show. I personally like The Book of Boba Fett, except for the finale. That's a show that has gotten derision. However, we've also had some pretty major wins. Going back to the beginning of the Disney era, I think Star Wars Rebels is a phenomenal bit of Star Wars storytelling. We've got the Clone Wars Season 7, Star Wars Visions. I think the Bad Batch generally has been pretty successful, and of course in live action, there is the Juggernaut, The Mandalorian. I'm going to quote from the article, again, read it for yourselves down below. The Mandalorian became a global sensation thanks to the incandescent cuteness of Baby Yoda, blasting Disney Plus into light speed with 26.5 million subscribers in its first 6 weeks. That's definitely true. However, while the success of Baby Yoda was the initial driver for The Mandalorian, I think it's just been generally the quality of the show which has kept people subscribing and kept people watching. Favreau has shown a real willingness and eagerness to make not only content that fans want, which of course is good, but also the desire to carve out this big universe with a ton of different media coming together in a way that we should have seen in the sequel trilogy. I'm not going to beat that drum again. Everyone knows this is true, but I mean, the focus on Disney Plus right now is obvious. The amount of shows that are teed up is just remarkable. I mean, in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll be having Andor Season 2, probably more Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian Season 3 and beyond, Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, The Acolyte, and more. And I mean, this is a lot of media being pumped out. The Mandalorian Season 3 is 8 30 to 45-minute episodes, and it's been pioneering new digital technology, so it's clearly not a lack of capability resulting in no Star Wars movies being made, but a lack of will. There's clearly no focus on the big screen, at least for now. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they're purposefully leaving time after the sequel trilogy to get back into movies, but as this article stated, and as is the purpose of the video, we've just recently seen more movies fall to the wayside. And it's actually worse than you might think. According to Variety, not only has no Star Wars movie actually started production, not a single one has been greenlit. And they go into detail the fate of 2 movies in particular. For one, Patty Jenkins' Rogue One film, which I was very excited about, and which actually got a full announcement video, has now not only been pulled from its Disney release schedule, but according to Variety's insiders, is now no longer in active development. Back in December, there were rumors that Rogue Squadron had been canceled. Patty Jenkins didn't quite refute that. She lightly did, I guess, but now it seems like, at least for the future, no Rogue Squadron. Apparently, Kevin Feige's Star Wars film, which we've admittedly only heard a little about, has also now been canceled. The article contemplates, however, that could simply be due to his involvement with the MCU getting way too busy, and I sort of understand that. I don't know why he would have ever tried to dip his toes into Star Wars anyway. He seems like such a busy guy, and to helm a single film, unless it was meant to pop off this new era of Star Wars, always seemed like a weird choice for me. There have been numerous other announced, quasi-announced, leaked, and now canceled projects. The two other big ones that this article mentions are the Rian Johnson films and the Taika Waititi films. There has been some fan pushback against Taika because of the recent Thor movie, which I gotta admit I don't really understand. I didn't really like any of the recent Thor movies or any of the Thor movies generally, but Taika generally is well liked by most audiences. It's the same thing kind of with Patty Jenkins in Wonder Woman. People are so willing to just write somebody off when they've had one bad movie, especially when, let's be honest, that's often caused, especially when you're working in a franchise like the MCU, due to external factors you've got little control over. The Rian Johnson thing hasn't been formally canceled, but to me this is more of a statement of intent rather than anything else. Oh yeah, I'd love to make a trio of Star Wars movies, but let's be honest, when is Rian Johnson's schedule ever going to be free enough for him to put aside the 6 to 10 years he'll need to make 3 movies? It's just never going to happen. I don't think those movies will ever be officially dead, but I think it'll be a long-running joke that it's just not going to happen, and it seems fairly obvious, at least to me. And I guess that takes me to Star Wars Celebration, which is also where the article ends off. There's the potential that we do learn about the future of Star Wars movies at Celebration, but I don't know. I can't be too excited about Star Wars Celebration this year because of a few weird decisions they've made. As someone who doesn't really do conventions, I always look forward to watching Star Wars Celebration, and while it does seem this year that we are going to get some sort of live Star Wars show, it also seems like the panels themselves will not be streamed online. And like, I don't understand that, especially if there is going to be some big announcement about the future of Star Wars at Celebration. I've always thought that these in-person limited fan events are kind of dumb, and pretty much everyone I've talked to, which is a lot of people who go to Celebration, agree. They don't need the extra incentive to go, and people who go to Celebration aren't even guaranteed a spot on the panel. There's a lottery system. I don't know, it's just a little frustrating. Star Wars has been taking some losses this week, in my opinion. Thankfully, the episode of The Mandalorian Season 1 was good. Bad Batch Episode 11 was also quite good. But Star Wars deserves to be on screen, and that's my hope for the franchise. Let me know what you guys think down below. Am I over-exaggerating? Am I understating how big of an issue this is? What's the cause? I really look forward to reading all of your comments. Till next time, guys, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.